Joining us now from Capitol Hill, Democratic Senator from New York and member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Senator, good to see you this morning. Thanks for being on the show.
Good morning.
So I take it it's sort of a new day in Washington, given all that's gone down. How are your colleagues reacting today?
Well, I think most people are very excited to catch the #1 terrorist. This is a great day for New York and for America because the reality is Osama bin Laden caused the death of thousands of Americans, and many families and those who have lost loved ones and all the first responders feel that justice has been done.
As a member of the committees that you're on, now, what is the discussion behind the scenes, and is there one yet, about possible retaliation and how we move forward? Because we do have jubilation in the streets. We have a lot of celebration, a lot of people making some really strong statements about how they feel about the death of bin Laden. But this is an internet age, and there are reverberations that may be negative.
Well, I did talk to Commissioner Kelly yesterday to talk about the potential for retaliation, and he was taking increased measures to make sure that New York is kept safe. He added a police presence in subways and other areas around New York to make sure that if there were any retaliatory actions, we were prepared. But the reality is, Mika, New York has had 12 terror attempts since 9/11, and so we always must remain vigilant. And the last attempt was about a year ago, and it was just a regular ordinary citizen, a street vendor, who saw something, reported it, and really subverted a terror attack because of his vigilance. So we all have to remain vigilant.
Mark Halperin.
Senator Mark Halperin here. What do you know about the president's trip to New York on Thursday? What do you expect him to do while he's up here?
Well, I don't know all the details of the trip yet, but I think it's terrific because it's a time for him to meet with all the families who suffered gravely from 9/11, to meet with the first responders, to have a measure of celebration that justice was done. And, President Obama stayed very focused on finding Osama bin Laden. This is something that he was committed to and that he kept really in his sights. And I think that was very important in this war on terrorism, because the reality is we need to tell terrorists that America never gives up, we never give in, and we never forget, and we will find you and bring you to justice. And that's a very important message to tell terrorists worldwide who intend to continue to attack America and America's interests.
Senator, the birthday boy, Willie Geist, has a question for you.
Senator, Senator, good to see you. Do you think the death of Osama bin Laden has value beyond the symbolism that you just described? Is there anything you know operationally about what he's been doing over the last few years that tells you this is a death blow, perhaps, to al-Qaeda?
Well, it's an important blow, and we will get a top security briefing as senators at 5 o'clock today. But, many people believe that al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula is becoming a far more dangerous organization and is most likely to be the source of an attack on American soil. So the reality is al-Qaeda has metastasized over the last 10 years. It is a very different organization than it was on 9/11. And so we have to be mindful that these terror attacks can come from worldwide organizations with very different heads and leaders.
Senator, it's David Remnick from The New Yorker. You've got power of the purse, and we've been investing billions of dollars in our relationship with Pakistan in recent years. And I wonder, given the facts surrounding this case with Osama bin Laden hiding out essentially outside the walls of the Pakistani West Point, and the possibility of complicity at the highest level, how are you feeling about us giving billions of dollars a year to Pakistan and that incredibly complicated relationship?
Well, I'm very concerned, and I share Chairman Levin's concerns that we need accountability with Pakistan. We need to know what the Pakistani government knew about Osama bin Laden's location. I was in Pakistan last November, and we met with the head of their military. And, many of us left fairly dissatisfied that we didn't feel that he was working together hand in glove with the operations and missions that we believed would be the most effective in cracking down on terrorism, particularly the operations that go from Pakistan to Afghanistan to directly affect our troops. So I have grave concerns, and our relationship with Pakistan is highly complex. We don't want to not have a relationship with them because they are a country with nuclear capability, and we want to assure that that nuclear capability can never get in the hands of terrorists. So because of that, having a relationship matters, but having accountability also matters. And to have Osama bin Laden been hiding out in, a very large facility just 20 miles from Islamabad is highly concerning.
So, Senator, given the level of polarization that exists in our politics, and even, I'm sure this comes as no surprise to you, in the United States Senate, off of David's question to you, how do we manage that relationship going forward now that a large component of that relationship is out of the box? The fact that the Haqqani terror network basically operates out of Pakistan. The fact that huge amounts of money, of American aid money, goes to Pakistan, some of which is turned over into weaponry for the Taliban that kills Americans. How do we manage this relationship with all of these things now unraveling in public?
Well, my view is we need far more accountability on the money that we give to Pakistan. And in fact, we need to have the ability to direct that money. And I think we should focus our efforts far more on humanitarian issues. In one of the past spending bills, when I was on the Foreign Relations Committee, I specifically focused our commitments to border regions for education, to give opportunities for girls and women to be educated, opportunities for women to be in government, because a lot of studies show that when women are part of the governing process, far more attention is paid to clean water, education, healthcare, and development. And so if we can have a long-term relationship with Pakistan that steers far more towards that direction than the military that it currently is focused, I think that would be preferable.
Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, thank you very much. Best of luck to you. It's good to have you on the show. Come back soon.
My pleasure. Take care.